Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to my vlog number 3. So if you are someone that would like to start or to open your own dog business, please listen very carefully because it will help you in finally deciding whether you want to push through or not with this business. But before you start with this business, I need you to keep in mind or answer these two important things. Because if you can answer this, then this business is not for you, especially the question number 1. So let's go ahead. The first question that you need to keep in mind is, do you like or love dogs? Why is that so? Owning a dog is a lifetime commitment and it entails a lot of effort and cost. So imagine if you don't love dogs and you've decided to pursue this business, definitely your life will gonna be a living hell. Because one, you need to invest for their food. Second, you need to live with their smell. Third, you need to clean their mess. And then fourth, you need to clean their poop. And last but not the least, there are a lot of added costs related to the dogs to make sure that they are healthy and they are going to be happy. That's why, please, if the answer is no, if this business is not for you, then the second thing that you need to ask yourself or that you need to do is do your initial research or studies. To be successful with any business, whatever it is, before you start with this dog business, do your homework. You are not investing money to fail. You are investing money to follow your passion and then at the same time to earn money to provide for your family. So, after giving you the two things that you need to keep in mind, if the answer, hey Josh, I really want to continue, then let's proceed with the step-by-step process in starting this dog business. The first one is identification of what breed to start with, meaning you need to know whether you are going to start with small breed such as Chihuahua, Pug, Shih Tzu to name a few, or medium breeds such as English Bulldog, Chow Chow, and then large breeds such as Golden Retriever, Labrador, and those big ones such as Alaskan Malamute and other big breeds or Saint Bernard. So you need to identify what breed to start with. Then after that, you need to study the market of that said specific breed. You need to know what is the salary range that the people is buying that breed, who are the people that inclined to buy that breed, where could you join certain pages associated with that said breed so that eventually you could use them as well on your marketing campaign once you start selling your own dog. And then step number 3, budget preparation. So owning a dog is really a big responsibility budget-wise because first, you need to allot budget in buying the dog itself. And second, you need to allot budget in making sure that you have a good cage that you could put them, as well as the other accessories. And then you need to buy dog food. You need to provide vitamins and other things to ensure that they are going to be happy. That's why you need to be fully ready budget-wise. And then step 4 is the dog space preparation. So for those married one, make sure that you've already asked permission from your other half to avoid problem, and also make sure that the space of your dog is set up correctly in a way that it will not affect anything in your house or your way of living. So you need to be pretty strategic with the dog space, because if you put them incorrectly, there's a big probability that they could be exposed with sunlight and other elements that could affect their health. And then if you expose them to a lot of people, they could easily get stolen, or they could bark, and then eventually it will create problems with your neighbors, especially if you're living in the city. Then, step number 5, start dog acquisition process. So to start this process, you need to join different dog groups here in the Philippines, because usually that's how it works in the Philippines. But I think to other part of the world, it's almost the same. And then you need to slowly canvas for the price and everything. So the acquisition process start by joining different groups, either in Facebook, Instagram, or anything else where you could find the breed that you want to pursue. Then I think this one's really pretty important. Make sure to get quality dogs. Quality dogs. The definition of quality dogs is those breeds that conform to the standards set up by different dog organizations. And most of the time, the dog that you could see in television or movies, or or in videos are those quality dogs. You need this to you need to take this very seriously. Don't buy budget meal dogs, because the cost of keeping them, quality and not quality dog, is the same. But then again, once you start selling them, then there's a big difference between quality dogs and non-quality dogs price-wise. It could be 5,000 and above depending on the breed. So please make sure that you go with quality. Then, step 7. So once you have identified the target dogs, you need to keep in mind these 4 important factors. Breeder, who is the one that is breeding the dog? Make sure that you are dealing with legitimate breeder, or those someone that has proven their capability to produce good quality and healthy dog. Then health card. Health card is just like a card for people where you could see there the vaccines and the deworm that the dog has gone through. So for dog purposes, you need to ensure that it is done by a licensed veterinarian, because there are a lot of sellers, especially here in the Philippines, where they are the one that are injecting their dogs. I don't see any problem with that one. But then again, for me, even if I know how to inject and do the deworming, I'm not gonna do that to my puppy. I will ask someone that could do it for me to ensure that the dog will going to be safe. Because my main goal is the dog should be healthy and it should survive whatever the condition it is when it goes to the new owner. Then, actual appearance of the puppy. It's really pretty important, because even if you could see that it came from a reputable breeder, it has a health card, But then again, if it's not that healthy when you see it personally, then definitely there's a problem with the puppy. Then last but not the least is the paper. So as much as possible, get a dog that has a paper. Here in the Philippines, the most common one or the most famous one is PCCI, but there's a lot of other dog registration here, such as Puppy, RKC, RKCP, ABC. So there's a lot, but mostly it's PCCI. So if you are going to buy dogs that are aligned with PCCI standard, see to it that before getting the dogs, the paper should be signed at the back with the previous owner. I'm gonna let you know in the next slide why it is important. Then for step number 8, if it's puppy, because most of the time it's better to buy puppy if you're starting a new business or a new dog business. So they should be 2 months and above, and make sure that it's active and no health issue during the releasing. So it's really pretty important that it reaches 2 months because that is the allowable or prescribed time that the puppy could survive. And most of the legitimate or good breeder will not release the puppy if they don't reach their second month. So second month. So it's really pretty important. Then for step 9, process change owner as soon as possible for paper dogs. So that's why I mentioned on step 7 for the paper that it needs to be signed at the back by the owner if it's PCCI by the previous owner, because once you go to PCCI, before you could successfully process it out, there should be a sign from the previous owner at the back. And one important thing is you need to ensure that you will process the ownership right away, because eventually it needs to be named to you to be able for you to process the papers right away once you start breeding them. And most of the time, if it's PCCI, there is an added cost, especially if it's the first time that you are going to process the change of ownership or the first time that you are going to transact with them. So prior to doing the change of ownership on the paper of the puppy, you need to be a PCCI member first. Then you need to create your own kennel name. So make sure that it's unique. Then once it's successful, you could do that the same day as well. Then that's the time that they're gonna process the change of ownership. I really don't know the entire cost for now, so please visit PCCI to know more about the cost of change of ownership, membership fee, and kennel registration. Then step number 10, once you have the dog, make sure that you focus on the food and vitamins to ensure that they are healthy. Bottom line is, healthy dog could be or will be producing a lot of good offspring and ensure that the new generation that they will going to produce will be healthy as well. So please make sure don't shortcut with the dog food. If you want good result, then invest with the food and vitamins. Then for step number 11, this is important. Have a schedule for taking the dogs out to socialize and play. They need to have exercise to keep them healthy. Why is that so? Because especially those big breeds such as Rottweiler, German Shepherd, they tend to develop an attitude if they are not properly socialized. And also pit bull. That's why there are certain instances that you could see in the news why this dog uh, is not behaving correctly. Technically, not dogs or all dogs are born good. They will just gonna encounter problem along the way if their owner is not responsible enough. I'm 100% on that one. And if you dig deeper, there is a history why there are certain dogs is behaving incorrectly to human. That's why you need this to take into account, because the more they exercise, the more they get healthy, the more they will produce the result that you want. Then, for step 12, keep track of their schedule and breed correctly. Meaning, if you have dogs, there are certain schedule that needs to happen yearly and vet visit. So, for example, on their daily yearly 5 and 1, the deworming every 3 months or 6 months. So there is a corresponding schedule on that one. So see to it that you're tracking it correctly. And also once your dog start going in heat, there's a process to ensure that you could count them correctly, or you could bring them to the vet to ensure that they're ready before you start mating them to make sure that they could produce. Because if you don't do it correctly or the timing is not right, it will not conceive. And then the next one is breed correctly, because I've seen a lot of people who doesn't have any experience with dog. At the first hit, 6 months to 8 months, they decided to mate their dog. Please, that's a no, because they are too young at their first hit, and it will occur, or there is a lot of problem that might happen. First, they could possibly encounter a cesarean section where you need to pay more money because they really couldn't deliver it naturally. Then, since they're not mature yet, their mother instinct is not fully developed. For sure, they're not gonna feed their puppy on their own. You need to force them to feed the puppy, and then there's a big probability that the dog itself may die. So that's why, please, if ever you wanna breed your female dog, make sure that they reach their second heat and above to avoid further issues. So the second hit would be 1 year and above. So then, step 13. 13. Learn to adapt and accept challenges, changes that might happen along the way. Let's face it, we are working with live animals. There are certain things where we have done our best, but our best is not enough, meaning your dog eventually, even if you keep on giving them the best vitamins, the best care, then all of a sudden your dog die. So please don't blame yourself. As long as you did what you could do during that time, that's okay. But that's why you need to continue to adapt, because the more you gain the needed knowledge, the more you could successfully take care of them, the more you could adjust to any situation that are happening along the way. Because there are challenges that you could face during summer, and also different challenges once it starts raining. So please take that into account. As long as you are willing to adapt and continue to change, I think as you go along, you're gonna get successful. And then, last but not the least, join different dog groups to acquire knowledge and know the trends. Continue learning. So just like any other business, the more you network with different groups, the more you connect with different people that thinks like you or different customer, you will know more about your subject or your business. So at the end of the day, as long as you are continue doing whatever you can to learn and adapt and also to improve what you have, then eventually you could be an expert on this field. So these are the steps that you need to keep in mind if you really wanna pursue this business. So please like and subscribe if you feel like this video has helped you. Feel free to share in comments in case I miss anything else. And also before I end this vlog, shout out to Ivan Bocalan, the heartthrob of open text. Thank you guys, and you do have a great day. And hopefully, I could see more people going to this business, but with proper knowledge to ensure that they will become successful. Have a great day, guys.